All right, so this is a suggestion via a channel member. Let's go and jump into the video immediately, guys. I think the story is breaking right now.
Welcome back into Live Now from Fox. I'm Jay Russell. I want to take you out to Los Angeles. Take a look at this tweet that I was looking at a little bit earlier today from Fox News that's saying, breaking, U.S. Marshal illegal alien injured by gunfire during Los Angeles immigration operation in which escaping target rammed federal vehicles. Now, this is what sources tell Bill Malugan right here.
Yeah, this definitely seems to be like a common typical thing that's going on, at least recently. Where you have all these people that kind of align themselves with the ideology of no kings, let's just say this year, and then they immediately start ramming into the ICE vehicles, thinking that's going to do anything other than injure the people that are inside of the vehicle. Right? It's not going to stop, bro. You can't beat the federal government. Truth be told, your one singular car versus the entirety, like the entire weight of the federal government, doesn't really mean much, bro. You just getting yourself in jail for the sole purpose of your emotions.
What we want to do is bring in Fox 11's Nick Garcia, who has the latest on this. Thank you for joining us. So we're just reading the tweet right now from Fox News. Tell us what's going on, Nick.
Let's do it.
Hey, Jay, well, now I'm over at the hospital where the suspected undocumented immigrant as well as the marshal were both taken. It's just a few blocks over from where the shooting happened in South LA. I'm here in downtown LA now. We're still waiting to gather more information about this. I can tell you, though, we spoke with the lawyer of the man who was shot at involved in this situation earlier this morning. The lawyer says that he does not believe his client was the intended target of the ICE operation this morning. Of course, DHS says that he was. So there's a little bit of conflicting information.
Yeah, well, listen to DHS, because if DHS specifically has his name on a document and the lawyer of the person who was basically injured today perceives his client not to be the person, but yet DHS has it, I'm sorry, DHS is right and the lawyer is wrong. Because they're the ones that basically created the original document, right?
There right now. That lawyer's still working to get in touch with his client here at the hospital.
Well, you know, that's kind of interesting. It's just news that you do not think that you would hear about. So for this information, I know you said you're at the hospital right now. I guess what is the next update that you will be waiting on while you're there right now?
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing if he'll be able to speak with his client, if they're going to allow him in to speak with him, and then come out and give us an updated account of what he says happened. But definitely, you know, this is not the news that you mentioned that this is not the news that anyone was really expecting today.
Right.
It's worth noting the shooting happened just about a block away from a high school that had to go on lockdown. Thankfully, no injuries over there because that marshal was hit by a stray bullet.
You know, hearing some news like this, we're hearing all over the nation that, you know, ICE agents out there doing their jobs. But out in LA, are there more incidents like this that you're hearing, or is this more of an isolated incident type of thing since you have boots on the ground out there?
You know, as far as weapons being drawn or really fired, that's a little unusual. We don't see that every day.
Yeah,
Definitely
I
ICE
agree.
operations happening pretty regularly here. Those larger scale raids, not so much, but some of these smaller targeted events are happening just about every day. We don't often see them leading to shots fired like this.
Yeah, because I mean, listen, like even the absolute imbeciles that are out here doing all this protesting specifically, they know better than to fire some firearms at the federal government, bro. Like they do know. They know. All right. They're going to do everything else within their power to be absolutely, you know, troublesome, specifically to the agency who they feel as if is absolutely demonic and devilish. Even though they're literally just doing their jobs and you know, enforcing the law and not feelings, right? But either way, that's not the point here, right? They know better than to do these type of things, large scale. On a smaller scale, you're going to run into the people who are basically ramming vehicles into ICE agents, like ICE agents' vehicles. You get what I'm saying here, guys? That's what I think is going on a very small scale. The majority of the people are just out here being anarchists, right? That's it. But all right.
Is there anything that maybe, law enforcement, it's just telling the community because this seems that this is not going to end. ICE
No,
agents
it's
are going
not.
to be out there. Is there something that maybe law enforcement is saying or ICE agents are saying to just the community that if you do come in contact with somebody, just how to act? Because I feel like a lot of people are so used to maybe police officers coming, but with ICE agents, it's a different ballgame.
Well, law enforcement, federal law enforcement does expect everyone to comply with their orders or what they're requesting. We've seen cases where, maybe they have a warrant, maybe they don't, and then the person is a little confused as to what, lawfully their rights are. I will say there were a lot of people out at the scene of the shooting and also here at the hospital, at least a few dozen, protesting or trying to demand more action from or asking ICE to stop with these kind of operations. So
Right.
there definitely have been a lot of activists here,
Of course.
definitely adding to the mix.
I guess that's another question too, as well. Since you are out there in the community, how are they reacting to this? Because I mean, this is somebody that they probably know, and then of course on the other side of things as well, law enforcement. This is one of their own. How are they dealing with this situation?
Sure. Well, we do know we're not going to learn too much more about the marshal who was involved. According to DHS, that marshal was shot in the hand.
Oh,
Hopefully,
okay,
expected to be
okay,
okay. They
okay.
say he's in stable
Yeah,
condition.
most likely.
As far as the activists, I mean, we spoke with one person. I wouldn't call him an activist, but he was a delivery driver in the area. Says, I know this community really well. I'm not sure if he knew the man who was shot at earlier today,
Mhm.
but he seems to know people in that neighborhood, and he's upset. There are a lot of people who are upset by this, but there are, on the other hand, people who say this is what they voted for, this is what they expect, and this is federal law enforcement doing their job.
That's what I.
Yeah, guys, I'm definitely surprised that that's happening in LA. But hold on. Like I can definitely see this like escalating because like based off of all the information that we've gotten so far from all these protests here that have just been going on pretty much consistently within all of our like major cities and even some of our like secondary major cities in some places, let's say. Um, yeah, I don't think this is going to stop, guys. I think that they're going to protest for the entirety of the time that Trump is in office. But I also do not think that we're going to encounter like a Democrat coming up next. Um, Truth be told here, because their ideology is consistently unpopular, pretty much based off of the majority vote in the United States of America right now, guys. Right, and I don't see them being able to pull more people in, and also the candidates that they're kind of looking to put forward are going to have zero chance because they're hated. Gavin Newsom, guys, if you put Gavin Newsom up, your party is going to lose. Okay. If you put JB Pritzker up there, your party is going to lose. I can just keep naming, right? Like these like blue state governors that are trying to run for some type of like, presidential run, let's say. And I don't really see those being able to defeat the logic based arguments coming from the right, at least. Right. Like you will have to create an environment where people stop caring about logic and only care about how things make them feel. If they were to do that, I can imagine then and only then would things actually be able to kind of swing back to their arguments and talking points. Let's just say this year. Also, start focusing on what the larger group wants instead of like a random niche subgroup. That would probably be the best, right? That would be the best advice I could probably give. I'd think coming from my specific opinion, obviously. Right? But guys, let me know in the comments what you guys think. I do not think this is going to end. I think every day we're going to keep getting stories kind of about all types of craziness happening at all these protests, guys. The period. Where ICE is, that's where the activists are going to go, and they're going to wreak absolute havoc in the area. And only the cities with like weak law enforcement are basically going to allow the debauchery to ensue. That's where I'm at. But all right, listen, you guys all have an absolutely amazing day. Enjoy your day thoroughly.